Hello, everybody. This is Tim Mai. I have another awesome interview, case study, success stories to share with you today. And today on the line, I have Donald Pryor with us. And Donald is a student of mine, and he has an amazing story, amazing, inspiring story that I want him to share with you. Donald is someone who had a stroke, had to learn how to walk again, how to talk again, how to write, learn all of the things that we took for granted, and was able to survive through that and do that and get started in real estate investing a couple of years ago, and has gone on to do to do 9 or 10 deals now, and I know him, and I know he's still going through and having to take medication and stuff like that, and so whenever he has a chance, he works on his real estate business, and so I wanted to bring him on today to share with you a little bit about his story and share with you how he got started in real estate investing, and to hopefully this will inspire you and encourage you as you go through this 1,000 deals in 30 days challenge that we are doing, and you get inspired by it and go out there and take some action and do some deals, and kick some butt out there. So with that, Donald, say hi to everybody real quick.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome. Well, could you share with everybody a little bit about your story, what happened to you, and how you were able to learn to talk again, and how you got started in real estate investing?
Yeah, I was doing well as an MCSE. Then one day I had putting some paint on some boards, and my knees got wobbly, and I went in, and about 30 minutes later, my wife called the ambulance and told them to come get me. I was in intensive care, and for 3 days I don't remember anything. I was in there for 2 weeks of intensive care, and then after that I was put in my room, and my wife was there, and a doctor came in, and he was looking at my wife and talking to her, and he told her to get ready to take me for a vegetable. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything, and she would just have to take care of me forever and ever.
Mm.
He left, and after he left, well, I looked at her and gave her a thumbs up and said no. And we didn't have any insurance because I'd been self-employed. And we went home a week later. Didn't really do anything for the first 2.5 months. I was just laying around and stuff. And then there was one of my customers told me of some people that would help us. It was a lady at the church. She was 81 years old, and she could get off and on the floor better than my wife could. And she told me how to walk and how to talk, and she really did a lot in my life.
That's great. That's a great blessing.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate to
Right.
find.
Yeah, but and if the folks watching this see you in person, they will see that you still can't exactly walk like normal. You still need help. Like if you go up the stairs and stuff, up the steps, you still need help. You still. I mean, even your speech is slower than what normal people, the way normal people, most people would talk. And so this is still a continual process. You still continue to practice to walk better and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I do. Yeah, I do. You know,
Right,
I figure as long as I'm alive, I'll get better.
right.
And if I don't, well, that's okay too. That's up to God. I'm gonna do the best I can, and let God handle the rest.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. And so share with everybody, how you got started in real estate investing. I take it, after what happens here, you probably, can't find a job, and Well, actually, you're already self-employed to begin with, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you even try to find a job at all?
No, I didn't. I did a little bit on computers. I couldn't do a lot. There are a lot of things I couldn't do anymore. Um, but what I did, I did.
Okay.
But I
So,
wanted to get into real estate before I had the stroke.
gotcha.
But that didn't work out. I was scheduled to go see someone, and that was I had the stroke a week before I got to go.
Oh man.
So, and then after I got where I could walk and talk and all that stuff, well, I went. I was looking on the internet, and I saw Doug Smith, and he was talking a lot about you, and so then I looked at your website, and you said good things, and I thought that I would see what you're doing, and you had a seminar about a week or two later at your office, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 10 people showing up, but I went down there with my wife, and we we listened to your stuff, and then listened to Tony Van Zant. He was speaking also, and so I knew that I wanted to do it. Of course, I didn't have any money, so I just put it in the back of my mind and went on with doing what computer I could do and everything. And then about 6 months later, I had one of the AT&T bought some of our land. Actually, I bought a 25 by 25 piece of the land, and the proceeds from that was enough to get the course. And so I studied it and studied it and studied it and knew it backwards and forwards, but I still didn't do anything. That was like 6 months I studied, but I didn't do anything. And then you had a seminar, and I went to it, and you were talking to everyone, of course, but I took it as talking to me, and I knew that if I was going to do it, if it was going to be done, I had to do it. And I went home, and a week later, I had found a deal. It was not a real good deal, but it was there, and it had lots of challenge, and there was the people that owned the land died. The one that inherited them didn't want it. They had tried to sell their property once and had gotten it back and didn't do all the paperwork to get it back. So it was a mess. There was two people that had the heirs of that, and one of them was easy to find, and one of them was impossible to find. He'd been gone for 25 years and didn't know where he was going to be. Nobody knew where he was at or anything.
Right.
But finally, I found a lady that would buy the property. So I sold it to her for $1,000 more than I paid for it, or that I would have paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, but she had the trailer was on there, and she said she didn't want the trailer. So I turned around and did another ad on Craigslist, and I did $1,000 down, and then the rest in payment over a month. I mean, 12 months, and found somebody to buy it, and so I ended up making $3,500.
That's awesome. What was the sales price that they were trying to sell it to you for?
Um, the man wanted $2,500,
Gotcha.
and
So you okay? So you bought it for $2,500 for the land and the house on it,
right,
and you sold the land itself for 3,500, make
right,
$1,000, and you sold the house for 2,500, so, and made a total of $3,500.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's a great story, and it's what I like about it is that even though you went through so many different challenges to try to get the title work and get the deal done, and having to sell the house separately from the land and all of that because it was a mobile home, right?
right,
Yeah, and you did all of that, and I know it took like 3 months for you to get that deal
yeah,
done.
2.5 months, yeah,
3 months,
and
right? Yeah,
there were lots of times when I could have quit. I
right.
mean,
But you
wait,
didn't. Yeah, but you didn't. You kept on at it, and that was awesome. So tell us another deal that was a lot easier than that one.
well, the easiest one I had, there was a man that I was talking to that I knew, and we were talking about other things, but he just mentioned that he had a property for sale,
Hmm.
and I said, well, I can sell it. He said, okay. And I signed a contract with him, and then I marketed property on Craigslist and all that. And the next day, he said the new buyer wants the property. I went over there and so he can look at it. It's a uh, lot. It wasn't even a mobile home or anything on it. It was
Right.
just a lot.
Okay.
And I said, okay, if you want it, it's going to be this much. And so he said, okay. And long story short, it was 2 weeks from start to finish.
That's awesome.
And he didn't want any title stuff. He didn't have any money for doing a title or anything. So we came down to a McDonald's and made the deal, signed the paperwork, and had some coffee, and it was all done.
That's awesome. So 2 weeks from start to finish, and how much money did you make on that one?
That one I made $2,500 or $3,500 also.
$3,500 also. That's
Yeah.
great. So $3,500 is your magic number here.
Well, yeah, not really.
I
mean,
know you had a deal. You made $6,000 and stuff, and I'm just kind of teasing you and joking
I
a
know.
little bit here, but yeah, yeah. I'm glad you made money off of that as well. And so, everybody who are watching this, a lot of people who are watching this, it's a part of this 1,000 deals in 30 days challenge that I'm doing to help them do their first deal and stuff. What is the one message you want to share with everybody, like as an encouragement, as an inspiration?
just do it.
Just do it.
Don't
All right,
worry
awesome.
about anything whatever is bad or good or doesn't work or works or whatever. Just do what you can, and then you will either close the deal and make some money. And if you don't close the deal, you're gonna learn a good experience, and then go to the next one.
Awesome. Well, that's you heard it, everybody. You heard it from Donald there. Just do it. All right. So with that, thank you, Donald, so much for this interview. And you guys, I encourage you to take action in this 1,000 deals in 30 days challenge. And I look forward to helping you doing your first or your next deal here. All right. Thanks, Donald.
Bye.
Bye.